Good evening, you lovely, lovely humans. Happy Saturday to you. Welcome back to Roy's Repair and Reset. My name is Roy. I do repairs and reset. I am also quite tired. I'm real sleepy right now. It's been a long day. But the streams must go on. So, here we are. We're going to do some stream stuff. After, of course, I get out of, get my shameless self-promotion out of the way here. So we're going to do that, first and foremost. Oh, what a day it has been. Your boy is quite tired. Quite tired indeed. Oh, lordy lord. I need my beverage. I need hydration. Oh, hydration. Salud. Yeah, that should do for now. Oh, Booter, what's up, my guy? I ain't seen you around in a while. Always a pleasure to see you. Welcome this lovely Saturday morning, evening, whatever it might be in the UK right now. I never remember. I'm always bad about that. Also, I've slightly adjusted the cam visual to make sure that, let me try and get it in there. There we go. Make sure we have cat cam in the background over here. Right there. So, Resting Kitty will be hanging out for a little while. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Ah, we got some gross stuff on the menu today, my friend. It's gonna be an interesting day. Oh, Cali. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, it's Qatar. Huh? I don't know why I thought you were in the UK. Interesting. All right. Well, hello from the East Coast. Oh, lordy lord. It has been an extraordinarily busy day here. The after Christmas repairs have been flowing in. I have been swamped. Where is all of my stuff? There we go. Oh, yeah, no, definitely good. I'm very happy for the additional business, and I'm in the process of moving right now. So I mean, like you'll see, there's boxes and stuff everywhere right now. So all kinds of stuff going on at the moment. But again, all good things. Can't compare. Can't complain too much about it. I got real lucky with this beauty right here. I bought it off eBay for a really decent price from a salvage lot, and it came working. I didn't have to do a damn thing to it. It's so very few and far between that I get those lovely little gifts every now and again. So that baby's available for sale on the website now. I got controllers for days. Yeah, no, I know moving is not my favorite thing in the world, but it is necessary. We're moving into a bigger place, get more space, and yeah, and more room for cats and then things like that. So it'll be nice. And literally, it's just been a mess of PS5s. That one, and then the two behind me that are in the bags that we're going to be working on this evening. Oh, how do you? What you doing, baby? Meow. Yeah. It's just a honey. Harold. Yeah, it's very sweet. All right. So as usual, we'll give a little bit, let some people get in here, probably another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll start busting open boxes and taking a look at all of the gross loveliness that we have this evening. What are you doing? Yeah. Meow. Harold. You sweet baby. Yeah. It's just a sweetness. Oh, oh lordy lord. No, you got no room over here, baby. Where you at? Why are you hiding? Oh, there's no room. My whole area is a huge mess right now. There's no place for you to fall into. Yeah. There's just no room. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let me try and mix your room. Oh. Here. You want some over here? Hold up. You beautiful thing. All right. Probably about another minute or so. Let's see if she decides she wants to hop over here. Yep, there she is. What's the matter with you? Why are you so excited? No, it's a baby. Yeah. It's an old lady. It's so old. All right. What are we at? Yeah, about 10 minutes now. Give it about another minute or two, and we'll jump right into stuff. Oh, I know. You're just trying to get all the attention. You're stealing all my screen time right now. No one's gonna watch my repair. You're too cute. You're too precious. No, you can't come on the repair desk. No, that's not a safe place for kitties. It's not safe. There are very hot things over here. Oh, now you're just taking up the whole camera. You're just rude. You need all the attentions. You're blocking out my whole camera. What are you doing? Come here. Over here. Stop blocking my camera. You so needy. It's just a needy baby. Alright. Long enough. She'll keep begging for attention as we go. Alright, so I do have a couple of customer repairs. I didn't stream last week because I didn't have one because this PS5 Slim was supposed to be my job, and it didn't end up working out because it ended up working. So I didn't have a stream last week. And being that I'm moving, probably the next 2 weeks I'm not going to have a stream because I'll be packing and getting the truck and everything like that. So I wanted to at least get a stream with something to cover up the time that I missed. Ma'am. So we're going to start with this thing right here. And as you can see, it is wrapped in a trash bag. If something comes to my desk and is on this stream, and it's wrapped in a trash bag, there's only one reason for that. Now, luckily, with this particular PS5, the customer notified me ahead of time that it did have bugs in it, which I appreciate. Like, it's not my favorite thing to work on, but I do it because most other shops won't, and I know how to take care of them as far as making sure that the bugs are gone. So I don't mind taking them in. It's when I go into a console and find them on my own that I have a problem. This customer let me know ahead of time that they were in there and brought them to me already bagged and everything like that. So big props to the customer for that one. I did soak the inside of this with 99% rubbing alcohol. That will kill them like within seconds. So if you didn't know, now you know. Actually, it's still leaking alcohol from what was left in here. So we're going to go ahead and get it open. Clear up my desk a little bit here. And this customer actually brought me two that both had HDMI issues. I haven't seen them yet because I had them wrapped up, so I don't know exactly what's going on with them. I'm assuming it's a PS5, it's probably just the port. But I don't know that because there's bug infestations. So I haven't even tested these to see if they work. So we're going to find out together. Let me pop over real quick here. Cat's done messed up my my camera. Alright, let's get this up. Alright, that'll do. Let's go ahead and just break it open. Alright, so I mean, you can see right off the bat that there is some bug residue just on the front cover here. Oh no, the gloves are coming. Don't you worry about that, my friend. So, yeah, I mean, you can see there's a lot of residue over here. I am going to go grab those gloves right now. Glovies. Unfortunately, these gloves are rather small for me, so it is a pain in the tuchus to get them in, or to get them on, rather. All right, a gloved hand. All right, and number 2. Oh, these gloves are so small. Alright, it'll do for now. That's fine. Alright, so like I said, I have not looked at this thing at all, other than spraying it down with a load of IPA. And yeah, I mean, there's some pretty significant pest damage in there, that's for sure. Alright, I do want to try and turn it on at least. So let me grab a power cord. Let's expose the LED. Turn this slightly. My power cord will not reach. Alright. Alright, so there is a crackle at least. Alright, does it turn on? Yeah, this thing does not turn on at all. And I did not think it would. Well, that's a problem. Interesting. Yeah, there is no power to this thing, so it needs a new power supply as well. I don't know if I have one. I'm gonna be 100%. I don't know if I have a power supply for this. Well, I'm assuming it needs a power supply, to be fair. I don't know that it needs a power supply. Oh, actually, depending on the model, I might have a power supply. What model is this? This is a... Where is my flashlight? That's interesting. This one doesn't have the model number on it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, so it's a 1015, so it's the first revision. Do I have a first revision power supply? I don't know that I do. Well, it's not powering on. They brought it to me for an HDMI issue. That's obviously out the door right now. If we can't get it to turn on, it's not going to be a whole lot of good to any of us. I thought I had a power supply somewhere. Did I put it in my box? I think I might have put it in my box. Hang on. Oh, I did put it in the box. Okay. Oh, it's the wrong power supply. Damn it. Yep. I do not have a power supply for this. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. Well, that's a different problem. I am going to have to order a power supply, so that one's out the door. I can't do anything with it until I have... Hey, Docs, good to see you. Thanks, Booter. I appreciate you coming in, man. All right. Well, I mean, I can check to see if we're getting 12 volts, but I don't... I mean, with the bug infestation, as you guys can clearly see, I am fairly confident we will not have 12 volts on this board. But let me plug it in and see if I have anything coming in through the fan, because that'll tell me right away if I have 12 volts coming in or not. Oh, where are my tweezers? Alright, so let's get this lifted and hopefully not find live bugs. Nope, no live ones. Excellent. Alright, so... yeah, you guys can see the whole mess that we're getting into here. Yep, all the friends. Yeah, it's not the best part of my job, but it do be happening though. All right, so we're gonna remove this fan connector. This red lead right here should be the 12 volt line. If not, the black is always ground, so I'm almost positive we should have 12 volts on this line right here. That'll be ground, and then this might be a communication line or something like that. Alright, let's fish out these wires. There we go. Alright, so the wires are out. Alright. And so now, if I come into the fan connector here, grab my multimeter. Alright, so the power is plugged in over here. So I should, in DC voltage mode, be able to get 12 volts on this fan connector. So that's ground right here. And then, oh, there is 12 volts. Oh, okay, this got more interesting then. Okay, this got much more interesting. We do have 12 volts. Okay. All right, well, then this can continue to be worked on. This will now be a much more interesting repair. So as you can see, I actually need to send this to my customer real quick. So as you can see, I'll show you in just a second here. So we have power running into it, and you saw the 12 volts. However, when I'm pushing down on the power button here, there is no beep, no nothing. It is stone dead. Stone dead. So let me just send this to my customer real quick. Hey there, so I'm working on your PS5. It does have the pest problem like you were concerned about. I have it plugged into the power supply. However, when I'm pushing the button, there is no power. This thing does not turn on. So it won't just be a simple HDMI job. I have to find out what's going on with it and why it won't turn on. I will let you know what the repairs will look like, and if you want to proceed with it from there, we'll go from there. Just wanted to let you know. Alright, let me send this to them real quick. Alright. Okay. So, hello everybody just joining. Lovely to see your faces, even though I cannot see your faces. So, just to catch you guys up real quick. What we have here is a PS5 that came to me for an HDMI repair. And I'll disconnect this for just a second. Let's move this out of the way. So the HDMI is damaged. Bring the camera over a little bit here. You can see that the HDMI is split at the bottom. That's hard to tell, I can understand, but there is for sure a split on the HDMI port right there. However, a bigger problem right now is that when we input the power lead and we try to come in and push the power button, we have no power. We have nothing at all. So, with the infestation, that could be any number of problems. We are going to have to get it torn down and looked at. That is, I'm not looking forward to this part of the job. So, but it is part of the job, and that's what we got to do. So I'm going to do this and get started on it and see what we can figure out about why it's not turning on. Oh yeah. Got lots of friends hanging out in there. All right. Welcome everybody just joining. Lovely to see your faces. Even though I cannot see your faces. All right. Let's go ahead and get this fan off. Where is my alcohol? I need to have that at the ready, just in case we see any friends that want to pop up and say hello. Nothing so far. Oh. Alright, we can take the power out now that we know it's not working. Alright. The good news is it has not been opened before. I think they did mention that this was like in a trunk or storage somewhere, so... So, we are going to... Yeah, I didn't think this was going to be anything more than a couple of HDMI jobs, but here we are. Not doing HDMI work right away. How great is that? Welcome, everybody. Lovely to see your faces, even though I cannot see your faces. We're going to be hanging out tonight. We're going to be doing some repairs tonight. It's going to be a great time. All right. All right. I am terrified to take this casing off. I am not going to lie. All right. There we go. Let's get these screws out. All right. All right. Everybody wish me luck. All right. Seems to be okay. All right. Well, it's definitely bad. I have seen worse, but it is bad. Oh boy. Alright, so for those of you just joining, this was brought to me by a customer. It was brought to me for an HDMI job. However, if we plug in our power lead here, and we try to turn on the console, we've got nothing. We have no boot whatsoever. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, oh, it's got a roach infestation, which you can clearly see by the everything that's here. It must be the power supply. Nay, nay. We have 12 volts. 12 volts is going into the board. So, it is not the power supply this time. My guess is probably the South Bridge. I would have to assume, although the Wi-Fi module itself is pretty fucking gnarly. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go grab my vacuum real quick. Y'all bear with me just a moment here. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so I'm going to use my vacuum to get up some of our friends here and make it at least somewhat reasonable to work on. So. Alright, so that's at least a bit more reasonable. Now there's not carcasses everywhere. Alright, so with that in mind, I'm going to remove the power cord from here. And we'll take off these Wi-Fi cables. Yeah, so obviously working on a roach-infested console is never a fun time. It is part of the job from time to time. They do come up. But it is obviously not one of my favorite things to do. Let's get rid of our little friend over here and put him with the rest of his friends back here. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so now with the Wi-Fi cables off, we can start unscrewing all of these screws. Yeah, this board is pretty corroded. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So we will see. We will see what we can find. I'll get it under the microscope so you guys can see a lot more of what I'm seeing as far as the corrosion and things like that. Boy, I picked a doozy to start off. I thought it was just an HDMI job, and here we are. You guys are free to pop into the chat and say hello, ask questions. I am always here to kick it with you guys just as much as I am the repairs. So, by all means, come hang out while I get these 42 completely necessary screws out of here. Let's move some of these screws. Alright, almost done with the screws. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you, brother. Always a pleasure. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now that we have our very bug-infested, or what previously was very bug-infested PS5 broken down. So, Chris, in case you missed it, man, this came to me for an HDMI job, and, well, we'll just show you real quick. If I plug the power lead into this and I try to turn it on, I got nothing. I got no power at all. No beeps, not a thing. So this became a much more interesting job. So yay for that, I guess. However, it has been pest infested. There is definitely a bug problem within this console. I already took care of the bug problem, luckily, but now we need to find out why it doesn't want to turn on. So that's exciting. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to... Oh, remove yourself. Oh, dear God in heaven. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Could this be a front board issue, I wonder? I wonder. There is some heavy corrosion on this board. I mean, I don't know if this is fixable. This is so badly corroded. Well, you know what? To be fair, I had the power button unplugged when I tried to demonstrate it last time. Let me plug the power button back in. Alright, so now with the power ribbon cable back in. Oh yeah, it's an excellent time, my friend. I can't wait. Alright, so now that the power ribbon cable has just become unplugged from the actual board itself. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Okay, so now I've got that back in. Alright, so now with the 12 volts going in, we still have nothing. There is still nothing. This board is really badly corroded. I have concerns. I have lots of concerns. Alright, the first thing I want to check is the front board. So I should be able to... I can't remember if it's the resistor on this side or the other side. Hang on. Let me pop into the microwave. Wow. Microscope. Okay. So, first of all, that's the level of corrosion I'm dealing with right now. And it extends over to what would be the disk drive connector and the Wi-Fi card. I mean, it is... Yeah, it's going to be a fun time, Kate. Always lovely to see your face. Hello. And then even down on the terminals for the USB ports. I mean, it's just so corroded. Yeah, this is really bad. I have not... Oh, even the power... Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Even the power connector itself is corroded. Oh, man. What have I gotten myself into? Okay, so... If I remember correctly, I think I can short out that resistor to try and turn it on as well. That should eliminate any issue with the front board. If it can turn on but when I short out the resistor, then it's a front board problem. If not, then it's a rest of the board problem. So I'm going to try and short out this resistor real quick. And it does not seem to want to try and turn on. Yeah, it is pretty bad. Pretty bad indeed. Let me grab a multimeter. I haven't even gotten to the other side of the board. That's what terrifies me about this. Alright, so let's go into voltage mode. Ground out real quick. So we do have 12 volts coming in. That much I know. So you can see in the top left corner of the little square, there is voltage going into this board. I believe on this resistor right here, it should be 3.3. Yeah, 3.3. And if I try to power it on, it drops. Okay. Alright, so it's not a front board problem then. Okay. Alright, let's finish getting it torn down then. And let's see what surprises this board has in store for us. This is gonna be a fun one. Alright. Let's take off our clamp. Go. Alright. And let's disconnect our ribbon cable. Put this cable out. Oh yeah, I'd be willing to bet we got problems on a lot of shit. Okay, well, let's find out. Let's see what's going to be the most likely offender, shall we? I don't know what that was, and I'm concerned. Okay. So, where do we begin? I suppose we can test for shorts. That's probably going to be the easiest place to begin. So, just to continue on our tour, this is the HDMI port. It's in pretty rough shape. This is the Ethernet port. That's also in pretty rough shape. Our two USB ports, pretty rough shape. The connector into the power supply, pretty rough shape. Is this even corroded right here? Looks like some mild corrosion. However, where I think we're going to have our problem is probably right here. If I had to put some money on it, I'd say that area is pretty fucked up. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Alright, well, first things first. Let's rule out any of our usual suspects. So the first thing I'm going to double check on is making sure that we have no shorts on the 12 volt line. So we're going to come right over to the power connector. And we're going to ground out one side. This is a PS5 digital. Okay, so we should have beep here. That's ground, so that's negative. We should not have a beep on this prong. Okay, and we do not. Good. So we don't have a short on the 12 volt. I think I'm going to just go right to that Wi-Fi area because I am pretty sure that's where we're going to find our problem. Also, good to see you, Richard. Yeah, I appreciate it, my friend. Alright, so I need to clean that area up before I can try to test anything. So we are going to come in with some 99% isopropyl alcohol. We're going to flood the area pretty well. Yeah. So just in flooding it, I can see 1, 2 areas of concern. These blobs around these caps typically indicate that they've gone. So we're going to take a look at that, but I do need to get that cleaned up first and foremost before I can do anything. So let's give it a minute, let that IPA soak up some of that. Yeah, the overheating issue is usually pretty simple. Yeah, if you have the tools to take it apart, then you should be able to take care of it. If you're not comfortable doing it, definitely get it to a professional. Yeah, the liquid metal on those is very, very problematic. So if it's not something you're comfortable with, for sure, take it to a professional. But it can be done at home. Alright. Let's clean up some of this roach shit. So I'm going to come in with just a little cotton bud. Just try and clean up as much of this as I can. I would not be surprised if I knock a few components off here. If I do, I'm not terribly concerned about it. There's special Torx bit screws. They're not just regular Phillips head. And, I mean, you'll probably want like an air gun or, you know, canned air or something like that to help take care of the dust and anything that's built up in there. But as long as the liquid metal is still good on there and hasn't spread all over the place, then you should just be able to respread it. There's a ton of videos on YouTube about it, my friend. Yep, see, I already lost a cap right there. But again, I'm not terribly concerned about that because I'll just replace whatever caps are gone. But yeah, that cap came flying right off. Which again, I'm not surprised. This thing is beat to hell. So I'm going to come in with a little bit more IPA. Just really let it soak in for a second. Then I'll come in with a toothbrush and help clear up the rest of the debris. But I would be willing to bet that, and I could be wrong, but either here or here, or even here maybe, we will have shorted components under there. Yeah, absolutely, my friend. Alright, where the hell's my toothbrush? There we go. Oh, perfect. So you already have the tools necessary then. Even better. Yeah, the only thing you got to be careful with is the liquid metal on the PS5s, because it's not the regular thermal paste that the PS3 and the PS4 used. It's much more conductive and much more easy to break stuff. Okay. Alright, I feel like that's about as good as I'm going to get it right there. All right, so I mean, as you can see, there is a lot of corrosion around these caps. So let me untangle my multimeter leads real quick. To everybody just joining, thank you so much for coming in. It's lovely to see your faces, even though I cannot see your faces. Feel free to hang out, talk about whatever, while I try to fix this mess. Alright, so if we ground out, so we're going to put the black probe from our multimeter on ground, and I'm going to take a shot. Oh, that is not short. No, that is missing a cap. No way none of these are short. There's no way. That's unbelievable that none of these are short. I'm missing 2 caps, which I'm fine with. This cap is also busted. Actually, I need to come in a little closer. I need to see if these caps are even viable to check. No, that's not sarcasm, Richard. That is 100% roach feces that I am working with right now. Yeah, that cap's also shot to shit. Yeah, the ceramic ends are totally gone on it. So those caps are, they're not short, which I am completely shocked by. But they are going to need to be replaced if we can get this thing working. That's for damn sure. I'll replace the whole rail if I have to. But they are not short. I am shocked. I am 100% shocked. All right. I'm going to check the south bridge real quick. Oh yeah, no, if it's something you want to do for a living, my friend, yeah, you need to absolutely consider this part of it. Alright, so I'm going to ground out real quick, and I'm going to check this cap over here. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so the south bridge does seem to be good. But we are getting not a beep out of this thing when we try to turn it on. I'll tell you what, let's hook it up to my power supply real quick, and let's see what kind of amperage reading we're getting. So I'm going to turn it over here. Alright, so I'm going to ground the lead right here. Let's make sure you guys can see it. So I'm going to ground my lead right there, and then the power lead will go onto the positive terminal right here. And I also need to not do that before I check my voltage. Okay. So I have it at 12 volts. I've never run into bed bugs with these. There's definitely roaches. I have run into roaches. Typically, the easiest way to get rid of them is to freeze them. Wrap the console in a trash bag and leave it in the freezer for a few days. Me personally, I wrap them in trash bags and I soak the entire console in 99% alcohol. Normally that takes care of them within 24 hours. Okay, so I'm putting on 12 volts now, and I'm just going to see what amp draw we're getting from this board. Oh, interesting. That actually looked like a normal amp draw. That's weird. Okay, hang on a second. It's trying to turn on right now. What the hell? That's a normal, almost normal amperage reading, except it's trying to refresh itself. Like it tries to reboot. That's confusing, to say the least. Huh. Let me just check one more time here. Actually, hang on. Let's check another way. All right. So, what I'm going to do here is nope, I'm going to knock my camera over. That's what the hell I'm going to do. I'm going to knock it over twice. I'm trying to find my thermal camera. Oh, there it is. Found it. Excellent. Okay, so what I'm going to try, now that we have my thermal camera here, does not have the lens on? It does not. Okay. Almost had a camera to repair. That would have been a very different set of repairs. Okay. So now that I have my thermal camera out, what I'm going to do is power it on, and I want to see if everything lights up the way that it's supposed to. So 3, 2, 1. Alright, so Southbridge is getting warm. SSD controller is warm. But RAM and APU are not. Like, this is powered on right now. This is still... Well, Southbridge is cooled off. SSD is cooling down. Okay, never mind. But it's trying to turn on when I put 12 volts directly into it. Just not the RAM or the APU. No heat from the RAM. And actually now I'm stuck on a voltage loop. Yeah, so the RAM is right around here. So this area right here you should be seeing getting warm, and it's not. Yeah, now I'm not getting anything. Did I lose my connection? Hang on. Just make sure I'm still connected on the way I need to be. Yeah. See, now I'm getting what I thought I would get before. Alright, let's flip the board back over and see if it's just a weird connection or if something finally blew on this thing. Yeah, thermals, though, it depends on the situation. Yeah, okay, so now I'm actually getting what I thought I would get originally. Okay, so it's hitting like 0.22 amperage and then just dying straight away. So it was trying to power on, but it was stuck in some kind of like boot cycle. And now it's just completely crapped out on me. Which is honestly what I expected. So, now, let's do some more testing and see if we can find what blew. Hello, Ashley. Lovely to see your face. Alright. So the first thing I want to check again... Well, I did try to power it on, missing capacitors on the Wi-Fi module. I didn't think about that. That was kind of dumb. Definitely dumb on my part. So, it could have blown the Wi-Fi module. That's entirely possible. Okay. Well, still no shorts on the back here, which again is very strange. Let's just make sure I didn't blow the south bridge. Nope, south bridge is still good, from what I can tell here anyway. Alright, I think... we're going to try UART. I mean, I suppose we can check fuses and such, but I don't think it's going to be like a... I don't think it's a short. Well, actually, now it might be a short. Let's check a few fuses real quick, shall we? Alright, so let's check our fuses. We have F7003 right there. Do we have continuity? We do. So we're good there. Let's check F7502, which is right there. Do we have continuity through here? We do. Let's check F3501. Yep, we're good there. We'll check F7501. Oh, there we go. And here, we're good. Check F7001. Oh, it took a second. It tried to mess with me. Where's F7002? Is that on the back side? Yeah, I think F7002 is on the back. Let's check the back real quick. Yep. F7002 is back here. Let's check. Yep, it is good. Okay. All right. I think it's time for UART. So let's get ourselves ready for that. Let's clean up our area.
I mean, hundreds, man. I've been doing this for about 3 years now, so a lot, a lot of boards. All right. Well, that'll at least clear up our terminals enough to get the UART installed on it. All right. So TX and RX. All right. I wouldn't necessarily say it's more prone to issues. I think the level of issues can be different because it's a more complicated console. Oh, is the UART test point completely oxidized? What the hell? What in the world? There we go. Man, this thing is not wanting to cooperate. What the hell is going on? There we go. Well, that thing really did not want to get on there. There we go. And I'm just going to ground this out. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Alright, now I gotta get 12 volts back into it. So we'll hook it up to my power supply here. Alright. I have no idea if they do or not, my friend. Okay. Alright, so now that my UART is connected, I need to pull this up real quick. Oh, right, it has to have power. Yeah. That would be helpful. Yeah, see, now it's doing it again where it's trying to boot up and then it just fails. That's so interesting. Alright, well, I gotta let it crash before it tries to die on me again. Alright. Woo! Look at all of that. Jesus. Alright, so we're going to clear the codes. Okay. And we are going to... Yeah, bad RAM could possibly cause it. And, I mean, who knows with all the stuff that's on here. So we're going to turn it back on. And now we're just an instant fail. Right, let's run the codes again. Alright, so we've got a power sequence failure. And we've got a Bluetooth Wi-Fi module problem. Yeah, well, they're gone now. Yeah, this thing had problems beforehand. Power sequence error is interesting. Okay, both of these seem to be noted with the Wi-Fi problem. Okay. Alright, well, let's take off the Wi-Fi module. And we'll put a new module on. We'll replace all the caps on the back. I'm just going to do all of them because they all look terrible. Well, this turned into a much more interesting repair. So much for just an HDMI job. Alright, so I'm going to take off my UART. And I still have to do the HDMI job after this. That's the other thing. Alright. So, that has to come off, and I believe this should just be a standard 100 series. Let me grab my alcohol real quick and just verify. No, you can find replacement parts all over the place. I get them from donor boards. I get them from suppliers out of China. Get parts all over the place. Yeah. So this is just a standard 100, which is fine. Alright, now this one I am going to have to heat from the bottom because the top part has that fan connector right there, which is plastic. Yeah, I mean, the job will pay okay. It won't be too bad. Alright, well, we got to get this thing off, so let's get some flux in here. So we're just going to come underneath. I've got my hot air station set at 480 degrees Celsius with 99% airflow. I'm just circling around. Oh my god, it smells so bad. Oh god, the smell is the worst. And I'm just circling underneath the Wi-Fi module right now. This is getting that heat to spread evenly around. God, the smell is so horrible. It's so bad. Come in and give it a tap real quick, see if it's ready to come up. Nope, not yet. Oh yeah, no, it's fucking awful, man. It is absolutely atrocious. Alright, there we go. Oh, no, that's the top part. We don't want the top part. We want the whole thing. There we go. Yep. Yep. It's fucking awful. I hate it. So we're going to flood the area with flux real quick while the board is still warm. And we're going to come in with some leaded solder. And we're going to mix that with the unleaded stuff that's already on the board. That'll just make it easier to wick up and not tear up any pads. Alright, and grab a fresh wick. And come in and just wick up the old stuff that's on the board. put down a little bit more flux over here. I mean, it depends on where I'm getting them from. The customer ones I get in usually will have it more often than the consoles I buy broken from eBay. But I mean, a rough estimate is probably, I don't know, like 5 out of every 100. It's not a lot. But it does happen, and it is something you need to be aware of. Alright, there we go. And I don't see any significant tadpoling. I will double check it just to make sure. Just clean it up a bit. Let's come in a little closer. Just double check and make sure that the pads are... We didn't tear up any of the solder mask, anything like that. No. Yep, that looks good to me. Alright. And now we're going to clean it up a little bit more. Alright, and let me grab a replacement module, and I am probably going to have to reball it. Where are my modules? All right. Go through my box O parts here. This is a 104, not the one I need. This is a 100. That is the one I need. Check this chip and see if there's any weird revisions or anything that I can see. Nah, this is the first model anyway, so there shouldn't be any weird revisions. Alright. Alright. And is it bald? It is not. We do have to reball it. Alright. Well, let's break out the reballing station. Okay. Grab a tiny bit of flux. There, it's fine. And we're just going to rub that all over the chip. This thing's not wanting to sit proper for me. There we go. Alright. I need solder balls. That should be enough. Alright, and now we have the fun task of reballing. Alright, well, here we go. Already starting with the nonsense. Let me clean off the edge of my blade real quick. Okay. Try this again. You need to sit the way I told you to sit. Oh, is this the wrong one? I might be using the wrong one. That could be the problem. See, this is why I hate these goddamn gloves. They are a necessary evil, but they are an evil nonetheless. Let's see if this... Nope, this is not going to fix the problem either. You know what? Maybe we'll just do it without this. Let's get all this off of there. No, that's not going to work. Ah! So this was the one I was using then. Alright, well, here we go. Everybody's favorite part of the day, where I have to reball this damn Wi-Fi module. Alright, so this is going to be tedious and time consuming. I apologize in advance. But we are going to get through it as best we can. They're not going to be perfect to start off. I will fix them as we go through. There we go. Get in your home. Here we go. Yeah, it is tedious to say the absolute least. These solder balls are ridiculously small. And then you have to manipulate them into place and hope and pray that everything stays put. I gotta come in with a different angle. There we go. Yes, exactly. All right, there we go. All right. We're getting there, guys. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. I appreciate everybody's patience through this tedious and arduous process. We'll just put you over here for right now. That's where you belong. We'll just bump you over there. There you go. Friendly little bump. Come on. Get in your place. There we go. Alright. My hand's tensing up on me. Just give me a second. Take a little break. Yeah, no, so if the balls are not formed properly or if they don't bond to the board properly, then yes, it can make the whole thing not work. Alright, there we go. No, you don't. Let's move down a little bit here. So, just so you guys understand, yes, that's very true. Well, I know before the module is placed. Yeah, no, you can tell once you've got the balls molten on the chip, you can tell pretty quickly if it's done correctly or not. And I'll show it to you once I'm all done. Now, just to give you guys an idea of how difficult this is for me, I am looking at my computer monitor to do this. I am not looking at the chip, and I am not looking at my microscope because my microscope is hooked up to my computer monitor. So my head is turned 90 degrees while I'm doing this, not looking at the chip at all. It is a nightmare of a pain. Bring this down. Just bring a lot of these down. Go. We are more than halfway done. Yeah, no, zero depth perception, literally. It is a nightmare and a half. But we are more than halfway done, so that is good. You can bring yourself right on over here. It's like we're playing with molecules, right? Come on. Stay stuck to your friend. Create molecular bonds. There we go. Alright, we're going to come on down a little further. Clear off some of these extra solder balls and give me some more room here. go. Let's just chase him off the edge there. There we are. Go. Get on the damn pad. I'm going to turn this a second to make this work easier for myself. Yeah, no, there really is no winning. Eventually I will upgrade to something that can do both, but right now it's just not necessary. I'll just make do. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Push those right off the edge. All right, last couple. Oh, and I did my math perfectly. Come on, remove yourself. Alright. Nope. Go back with your friend. And go back in your home. There we go. Alright. So now I can go back and touch up, now that everything is in, at least paired up where it's supposed to be. We'll just go back and kind of move everything where it's supposed to go. As much as we can, anyway. Alright, so there's that. to try and get them on the pads as much as possible. All right. There we go. Oh, we got an extra one trying to hang around. You can get stuck on my knife. Please get on my knife. You know what? We're just gonna... Unless I lost one somewhere, but I don't think so. Everything looks good. So we got to tag along. Okay. Let's go back and fix the ones that got nudged. And let's adjust you. Let's move you over slightly. Let's push you over a little more. Let's get you up there. No, don't you do this to me. Okay. Okay, that should be good. Alright, so now... Yep. Oh man, David, you missed a whole lot, my friend. First of all, welcome. Lovely to see your face. I got a roach-infested HDMI job that has now turned into a reballing of the Wi-Fi module. It's the quickest and easiest way I can put it. I do need to try and clear off these last little stragglers real quick. I don't want anything ending up in the place that it's not supposed to be. Alright. Well, now I gotta push this one over just a tad. There we go. Okay, good enough. I'm done. I'm done. Alright. So, now that the reballing process is done, we are going to put our air to about 400 degrees Celsius at 1% airflow. It is going to be no airflow. We do not want those balls going anywhere. Oh, you're very welcome, David. Much obliged. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to come in with the hot air. There's going to be zero airflow. It is nothing but heat. Circle the area. And because there's no airflow, it's going to take a little bit longer for them to heat. There we go. We're starting to get a little movement. Alright, I'm going to bump the airflow up slightly. Come into like 5%. Okay, and I'm going to push it up a little bit more. Put it up to about 10%. So these edge ones are not wanting to melt. So I'm going to see if they're at least bonded. And if they're bonded, then I can raise the air temperature up a little bit. Or the air flow. But I need to make sure that they're actually at least bonded to the chip. Yeah, see there. Oh, there we go. We got a little bit of melting action going on. Alright, I'm going to raise it up a little bit more. Put it up to about 25. You know, I am going to raise the temperature up a little bit and put it up to 450. Same airflow, 25%. It's the Aten. Alright, I'm going to raise my airflow up a little bit higher because some of these edge ones really don't want to come together. Alright, so we're going to let that cool down for just a second. So you can tell that is not perfect yet. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect quite yet. I'm going to let that solder solidify, and then I'm going to come in with some flux, and we're going to reflow it at a much higher airflow speed. Yep, that's what we're coming in with right now. I'm going to put it at 450, and we'll do 80% airflow. There's a couple of them that just don't want to seem to come together. I'm going to, again, let it cool down a little bit, and I'm going to focus the heat on those areas. And I'm going to put some more flux on there as well. Alright, I am going to give it one more reflow just because I got this one pain in the ass little ball over here that is just not wanting to come together like butt cheeks and be the shit. I'm going to try and gently push it into it. There you go. Join your friends. No, this was a brand new chip. This is a purchase chip that I got from AliExpress. So there was no oxidation on this one. No, thankfully the cockroaches were not live. I soaked the console in a bag with oh no, okay, I'm fine. With IPA. Alright, we're going full bore, 480.99. All right. We're going to let that cool down a little bit. That one gave me more problems than it usually does. It depends, Aiden. I don't know if it's Aiden or Adon, whichever it is, but it depends. You gotta be careful with where you're purchasing from. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I've had a lot of luck with my sellers, and once I find ones that I know are good, I stick with them. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely not be ideal. I would not like that very much, but it is the nature of how it goes. But I've had a lot of good success with this seller on AliExpress. Oh. I also just emptied my tube of flux, so I need a new flux. Yeah, they are usually really good with the customer support. Okay, there we go. Nah, Amtech, my friend. Where are we at? It's probably knockoff Amtech, don't get me wrong. But it passed all the tests, so. Hey, Trick, good to see you, buddy. Alright, so that is cooled enough to where I will be okay with removing it. So let's go ahead and get it out of here. Alright, so that thing is going to need to be cleaned. Come with a little IPA. Yeah, no, especially from Decoder and I think Toltec and a few other people, they all swear by Kimbo, so I can't fault it. People that are way better than me at this are using it, so. Right, we got a few extra solder friends over here. Just gonna try and pop those off as best we can. Ow, just poked myself. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just grab our soldering iron and get them off that way. You know what? Maybe they'll just hang out there. It's not going to bother anything. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just leave it as is. Okay. Clean up my mat a little bit. Alright, let's bring our board back. Alright, so now as you can see, I don't know where we are, when we're looking down at the chip this time, we've got nice even rows of lifted solder. Yeah, pretty much, David. Yeah, I work a regular 9 to 5. I do have a licensed business to do this. I started doing it about 3 years ago. I learned from YouTube, from people like The Coder, Joey Does Tech, Toltec Merc. and I just really fell in love with it. And I have horrible, debilitating ADHD, so things like this help me focus and uh, keep my hands busy and such. And not to mention, I get to help bring people's consoles back to life and make people happier. And what's better than that, you know? Just wanna. Oh, I actually got to put a little bit of flux down real quick before we go too crazy here. And once again, my flux needle is jammed. Hold a moment, please. Alright, let's try this again. No, we're just going to use a little bit right out of the flux bottle. You goddamn right, Aiden. That's right, Trick. Don't you forget it. All right, that was supposed to be between us, but since you're gonna tell everybody, you still owe me $200. All right, just gonna rub that flux in there. Get it all nice and moistened. I'm gonna drop it into place. Lay it as close to our area as possible. I'm going to move the board slightly so I can get better angles and make sure we're not too far off of place here. Yeah, see, that is a little bit low. That's fine. We'll make some adjustments. Okay. Let's check up here. Yeah, OBS, correct. Alright, that all appears to be in order. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is come from underneath. Again, full bore. Let me adjust this microscope a bit. There we go. So I'm just heating under the board because there's too much plastic on top. And what I'm trying to do is just get the solder underneath the chip to bond to the points on the board. And once I know that that's done, or once I feel like that's done rather, I should say, I will take the heat off and I will give the chip a quick nudge. Dear God, this roach shit smells so fucking bad. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, so by this point I feel comfortable enough that I'm going to let it cool for a second, and then we're going to give the chip a nudge. More IPA, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Trick. The next bench I invest money into will definitely be a lifting bench, because being able to stand and solder would be a tremendous help. All right, so now that it's cooled enough, I should be able to come in and just nudge this chip, and it should not move. And it is not. It is bonded. Okay. So now we're going to come in with some flux. All the way around. And again, we're going to come full bore at it. That flux is going to get right underneath that chip and help that solder flow into place. No, this is all local, man. People bring them to me. So I'm continuing to move the air underneath the chip, making sure everything gets heated as evenly as possible. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we should be at a point now where if I give this the tiniest of nudges, it should move just slightly. There we go. That's what we want to see. So we're going to come off the heat. Mostly consoles right now. I do, yeah, I'm with you on that, Trick. I am with you on that, my guy. I do some other stuff. It's mostly consoles, but I do work on TVs from time to time. I build PCs, you know, that kind of thing. But consoles are where my heart's at. Alright. Well, this thing is a disgusting mess. But the chip should be on properly. And we can test that in just a moment. Once this thing is cooled down enough. I am going to come in with a Q-tip and just kind of clean up some of this residual flux and other associated nastiness. It is gross as fuck. Alright, so we're going to let that cool down before we put any IPA on it. We don't want thermal shock to affect the board, the chip, anything like that. So we are going to let it cool down naturally for a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip the board over. We are going to double check the remaining caps that that there's no shorts on there, and then we're going to replace every cap on the back of this Wi-Fi module. Hey, I'll be in there, Trick. You let me know when you get it going, buddy. I'll make sure I'm in there. Just don't do it at the same time as me. Alright. So we're going to let it cool a little bit longer here. I'm going to put a little bit of IPA on the side of my bench here. I'm going to come in with a Q-tip and just soak that up right there. And again, we're just going to come in and help clean up some of that nasty. No, no, it's burn. It's from me having to heat the what's it called the bottom of the chip because I don't have a proper holder for it to actually like keep it in place. I had to use high heat at low airflow to get the solder balls to melt. It's not ideal. It shouldn't look like this when you're done. Okay. All right, let's flip the board. And now remember, we've already lost a couple of caps because, for those of you that weren't here earlier, it looks like trash. That's why we're replacing every single cap. However, we did not have any shorts last time, so if everything is installed correctly, we should not have any shorts this time. If it's not installed correctly, we will have shorts. So, let's come in real quick. Point it on ground. Alright. 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 Oh, that's all ground. This is okay. That's okay. Had me worried for a second. Okay. All right. So we still have no shorts. Yeah. Yeah. So this was a local that brought it in. He did tell me ahead of time that it had a roach problem. So they brought it to me in garbage bags already, everything like that. So when customers do that, I will gladly work on it. It's when I find them and I don't know about them that bothers me. But yeah, yeah, no, I know. Most of the time I have to find out the hard way. But this one did let me know about it and brought it to me in garbage bags, so that I respect the hell out of that. Okay, let's grab us a donor board and see if we can't. Well, first we're going to remove every cap. They are all trash. Yeah, no, the roach problem is always going to be a persistent thing with these because they love the heat so much. It's always going to be a problem. Alright, so we are just going to pop off all of these caps. South Florida, my friend. Right out of my house. All right. All right, so now that we have taken off every single cap, we are going to come through and dab up these contacts with some fresh solder. And we are going to replace every single cap. You send me some cold one, and we'll trade off. Although we are getting a real nice cold snap right now, so I'm not gonna complain too much. All right, so I'm just gonna come in and get some solder on the iron here. Now this is going to turn into more of a project than I thought. Oh, this is going to be a problem. I might have to do some grinding. Alright. Well, this turned into a bit more of a problem here. So I've got a couple that have lost their pads completely. So I'm going to have to grind out a little bit of the board here. Come in here. Oh, I haven't seen snow in 30 years, man. I miss snow. I miss snow as a visitor, not as somebody who would have to go warm my car up and shovel snow and all that shit. No. But I remember snow as a kid growing up, and I ain't seen it in too damn long. Oh, I certainly hope not. That's not good. We'll take a look at that as well. Well, that doesn't look the best. To the left are eaten and... Oh, Toltec. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Traces to the left are eaten into where the test pad is. I will have to take a look at that. Let me finish grinding these out real quick. Okay, let's see. Traces. Alright, well now that we've grinded this up, let's try and get some solder on these joints so we can replace these caps. Let me clean up a little bit before we do that. Let's do the smart thing. Alright. Oh, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Welcome in, man. It is lovely to see all of your beautiful faces, even though I cannot see not a single one of your beautiful faces. All right. All right, so we just finished, for those of you guys that were not here, we just finished reballing the Wi-Fi module. We ran UART. There we go, that's what I like to see. This came to me as an HDMI job that was roach infested, and it came out with no power, 0 power, no beep, no nothing. Board had 12 volts, so the likely suspect of the power supply was not the case this time. And we did some testing. We tried to see if the south bridge was bad, but it was not. We did UART. And we got 2 codes, one for a bad Wi-Fi module, and another for I think it was a power maintenance issue or a power fluctuation issue, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But it was another power issue that said it could be fixed by the Wi-Fi module. Yeah, it's a case-by-case basis for me when it comes to the roach stuff. In this particular instance, the customer told me ahead of time that it was roach infested, and they brought them to me in trash bags. And for that level of respect, I took it in. However, this just turned into a much bigger job than what was supposed to be just an HDMI job. There we go. So it's just this one up here that doesn't want to take any solder right now. Okay, there we go. We got it. All right. It's not the best job, but it'll do for now. Okay. So yeah, I mean, just to for those of you that weren't here, just to give you an idea of what we were enjoying later, or earlier, I should say. All right, so there's our South Bridge, and yeah, yep. Just heavy corrosion all over the place. Rough times in the repair world. Oh man, mid-90s, I was still just a baby. I was busy breaking VCRs, not fixing them. Alright, so let's grab a donor board. Alright, does it have all of them? It does look like they have all the ones I need. Tremendous. Alright, Trick, you don't have to fucking rub it in here, alright? Okay, so nope, it does not have all of them that I need. It has most of them that I need, so I will take most of them. Alright, I'm going to do these one at a time. And of course my damn flux needle is jammed again. Ah, the hell with it. It will just go heavy flux. Big heavy. I'll be turning 38 this year, so. Alright, here we go. Actually, this is going to be easier for me if I show you, if I get this on the board side. So, y'all will just have to know that I'm pulling them from donor boards. Oh, I appreciate it, Toltec. Thank you. I'm really still learning a lot about the actual sizes and values of capacitors and stuff. So that information is hugely helpful for me. I will absolutely be keeping some on hand. Alright. Stop right now with this one. This is one of the ones that I had to grind out, so I am going to try and flood it with solder and hopefully bond it. No, get on there. What are you doing? Hey, Noah, good to see you, bud. Okay, there we go. Now we finally wanted the bond. No, no. I mean, it's fine. I'm going to come back and fix it. It's just, I really need this part of it to not be so difficult. Okay, it's fine. We will put some flux down and it will flow into place. Oh, this is turning into a job. Yeah, I'm putting more flux on there now. I was already in a rough spot with it, so I wanted to at least get it bonded a little bit. But yep, you are correct. More flux. We will use all the flux. Let it flow. There we go. All right. All right, we are coming for the next one. Where are my damn tweezers? Okay, let's relax for a second here. There we go. Remove yourself. Actually, you know what? Stay put. Fine. Oh my God. Move. Jesus. fine for now. Nope, don't run away. I see you trying to. God, this is a nightmare. You know what? If I have to do every cat manually, I swear to God I will. I don't want to, but I'll do it, damn it. No, you don't. We're not playing this game. And the fucking cap stuck in the flux. Oh. Come on, what the... It must be getting late. There's no way in hell. Yeah, the hot tweezers would absolutely be a huge help here. I am just, it's late. I am struggling. Hot tweezers would absolutely be the best method here. Alright, hang on one second. I'm also trying to use my tweezers with my left hand, and that is never a smart thing for me to do. Alright, coming back with the hot air. There we go. I don't understand why the hell this thing isn't bonding, and it's really getting on my nerves. That actually looks like it bonded that time. Only a few more to go, guys. Okay, that one actually bonded. We're going to go ahead and just preempt the flux here. Alright, now these ones I will need to have my microscope on so I can pull them properly. Yeah, that is definitely possible with the oxidation. I tried to clean them up as best I could. Unfortunately, I did have to grind some of the pads up because it was just, the pad was ripped up completely. It is midnight here as well. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break after this next one. Just take a quick 2 or 3 minute, get some water in me break. Ah. Alright, quick break. Just a minute to rest my hand. We don't have a whole lot left. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So, not a whole lot. Hopefully the rest will go easier. Oh, no, wait, sorry. Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. Fuck. It just depends. I get the backlight on the LED ones between Samsung, Vizio, TCL. I mean, it's all just a lot of backlight issues. That's pretty much all I'll work on. Either that or like an HDMI port or something like that that needs to be replaced. Oh, all right. Quick little break here. Woo. Well, this simple little HDMI job turned into way more than it was supposed to be. SMT repairs about 3 years. I started just as a hobby, it was something to keep my hands busy, and then it turned out I enjoyed it and was at least moderately good at it, despite everything you guys are seeing right now. And I turned it into a business. And it's still just an at-home business, you know, something I do on the side to bring in some extra money and help people out. Oh, really? I wonder if are they working for you? All right. Demi. Okay. There we go. Just get off my tweezers. Okay. And and that's it. Yeah, no, you absolutely should be investing in tweezers. I will also be investing in tweezers. Alright. Gonna take another quick break here. Rest with my palm a little bit. I am still getting a bit shaky. Whew. Thanks to everybody who is still hanging out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. To everybody that had to leave, trust me, this has been a long stream for one console. I get it. I appreciate it. This is way longer than I thought I was going to be up tonight. Alright. Let's come over here. Like 9 o'clock Eastern time, so I'm on 3¼ hours right now. Alright. So I just pulled 3 to make it a little bit easier on myself, I think. Nope, and I lost one of them that I pulled. Do we have it anywhere? Nope, it has been lost to the ether. Alright, fair enough. I lost the other one I pulled as well. Do we have it somewhere? Well, I guess that's why you should do it one at a time, right? Alright, well, I have pulled all of the available ones from this donor board. So, time to grab another donor board. Yep, nope, you got it 100% right, my friend. Okay, yep. Yeah, I'm sure, man. Also, welcome, Wasp. Good to see you, buddy. Let's just make sure that's in place. Okay, good. Palm Beach County, South Florida, a little bit north of Miami. Okay, we are almost done. One last cap. Here we go. Woo! Alright, we are going to let that board cool way, way down. Alright. No, I actually sell car parts. I work as a e-commerce manager for an auto parts manufacturer. So I work on cars and I work on boards. Yeah, exactly. Always got my hands busy with something to fix. Just gonna clean up that little piece of solder right there. It's bothering me. Okay. So like I said, we're going to let that board cool down a pretty good amount. I am going to tidy up just a tiny bit. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to be a little sad if this doesn't work. God damn it, Trick. Why you do this to me? Nice. I have. Oh, so you're using a what is it? A Hako? Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do... Alright, that's cooled down a pretty considerable amount. So now what we're going to do... Yeah, no, the FLIR is absolute garbage. I also have the P2, and it is the best purchase I've ever made as far as thermal camera goes. Okay. We're going to put 12 volts into this thing, and we're going to see what boot sequence it gives us. Oh, fully Chinese. Okay, hell yeah. Alright, hang on. I need to... Alright. I'm going to be real sad. Big tears if this doesn't work. I need all of your energy gathered into a spirit bomb-like fashion that this has a normal boot sequence. I might cry. I damn well might cry. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. That is not a normal boot sequence. That is not a normal boot sequence. But I don't know what it does. The boot sequence is not normal. I need to put it in the chassis and find out what it does. I need to see if there's any change. Trick is my resident troll, and we love him dearly, even though he wishes nothing but the worst things for me. Alright. So I'm not even going to bother to put the APU clamp on because I don't think it's going to turn on. now we're getting a beep. Current draw went up to between 0.28 and 0.3 and hung there for like, I don't know, 10 seconds or so, and then dropped down to 0. Well, we do have a change. We now have a beep every 30 seconds, which is not what we had previously. So, let's go back to UART. And let's see what we have now as far as codes. Yeah, no, Southbridge was fine. I had UART before, so it's definitely the Southbridge is okay. All right. So, just in case everybody forgot, this is what we had previously. We had power sequence, general power failure, and we pulled up the information on that, and that was pretty much what we had as far as the amp draw goes. And then we had the EMC USB Bluetooth device not found. Oh, this one apparently doesn't have any notes. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, so we will go ahead and read the error codes now. That's fine, that's all the old shit. So let's clear the error codes. And we'll click on read, but we have to try and power it on again. There we go. And now with the... we have no error codes. Apparently this should be working fine. What the fuck? Unless the Southbridge is now bad. Okay, let's clear the codes. Read error codes. Nothing. So, is it possible that the heat that we put in the board did something to the south bridge? Certainly possible. We can check some voltage rails real quick and see if we have what we're supposed to have. We obviously have 12 volts because it tries to turn on. Yep, we can do that as well. I am going to double check my voltage rails real quick. So we should have 12 going in there, and we do. We should have 5 up here, and we do. Should have 3.3 down here, I believe. Was it up here? Yep, there's our 3.3. All right. Thermal camera. So we have our SSD power management, SSD controller, and Southbridge are all getting warm when it attempts to boot. Try it again. Yeah, so those three all attempt to turn on. Well, let's get it back out of the chassis real quick. It could still be the Southbridge, even though it's trying to turn on. It could be a localized short. It's not something I'm going to be able to check for sure tonight because it's already late as hell, and this has turned into a way bigger job than it was supposed to be. But we can put 12 volts into it. We can double check that we're getting the 3.3 from the Wi-Fi module that we should be. Yeah, we'll double check our the 5 volts on F7001 as well. Yeah, we'll still do a little bit of testing before I head out for the night. Like I said, it is quite late for me, and I still have a birthday party that I have to go to tomorrow for my nephew, so that's going to be a fun one. But the puzzle is what gets the best out of me on this, so. Alright. Let's get 12 volts back into it. Oh. So, I took the power cable with me. That's fine. I'll fix that later. Alright, let's get 12 volts back into it. And actually, I'll show the amperage on screen as well. I can't do it from, what's called, I can't put it on like a layover or overlay or something like that, but I can do it right here. So that is my power supply. I'm trying to move this as far back as I can. Alright, so 3, 2, 1. Got 12 volts. Jumps up to 28, 29. It's just kind of hanging there. Like it wants to boot. And then just crashes. Alright, so let's grab our multimeter again. Alright, F7001. Sorry, bring you guys over. So we are at F7001. On this side we have 5 volts, and on this side we have 5 volts. So the 5 volts is there. Do we have 3.3 on the back of the caps that we replaced? Yep, got 3.3. Yep. It's a 010 board. Alright, let's... Alright, I took the 12 volts out, because everything does seem to be trying to power on. I want to look... I'll look around the encoder since the HDMI circuit's so messed up. I check the pins on the HDMI port, if they're even connected. They seem to be. Check diode readings on those real quick. Yeah. Yeah, the encoder's fine. After the chip coming from the... Let's take a look, my friend. Okay, so we have F7001 is right here. Are you talking about the encoder? Or this? I'm assuming you're talking about that. Let's hook 12 volts back up. This is one of the SBV chips, right? The power management chips. Oh man, hang on, my microscope's all out of whack. No worries, man. Alright, we'll check the voltage on this real quick. I've got 12 volts coming off that cap. Got 5 volts there. And I got 6 volts there. This one, mayhaps? Sorry, there's a delay on my chat, so. Feeds a cap, then a controller chip. So I'll trace it for you, man. I got F7001 right here. And if I follow that up, it leads me to this coil. And then these MOSFETs. Unless it's on the back of the board. Oh, F7002. Okay. All right, hang on. I believe that one is back of the board. F7002 is right here. Okay. Yep, I got 3.3 on the inductor right there. And off that cap. And 5 volts coming from there. Yep. Yep, I got all the voltages. Yeah, 3.3 from the Wi-Fi, 3.3 from that cap. I know there's a 1.8 volt rail somewhere. I never remember where the hell the 1.8 comes in. Here's another power management chip. Might as well check voltage while we're here. It's 5 volts, which means that's a 2 volt rail right there. Yep. And that 2 volt jumps over to, yeah, that's ground. So that changes the 5 volt to a 2 volt, or 1.9, which is probably the 1.8 volt rail. Yep, it gets, well, 28 to 30, and then just hovers there for like 10 seconds and then crashes immediately. Alright. Well, I am going to sit on this for the evening because it is already late as hell. And, yeah, but where would I inject voltage? There's no short anywhere for me to inject voltage to. Not that I've found yet, anyway. Yeah. Yeah. I am going to, let's turn this around real quick. Yeah, I'm going to call it quits for now. I'll contact the customer and see how long they want me to keep it and try and get it fixed. If I'm able to, then if I'm able to keep it, I should say, then I'll come back. I'll come back to yeah, probably next Saturday, and we'll try and get this thing working again. It's definitely a puzzle, and I like a puzzle, but this one's a doozy. So anyway. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, all the YouTube-y things that I'm very bad at remembering to say. Thank you guys, genuinely. Thank you so much. This has been one of the more popular audiences that I've had, and it means a lot to me. It warms my heart. All right? It warms my heart. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys next week, and enjoy yourselves. Be good.